Hello everyone, in today's video I am going to show you the basic functions of VLOOKUP within Excel. Now I'm not going to go into a lot of advanced stuff. I'm going to show you the simplest, easiest way that I have found that works for me on how to use it, okay, and teach you how to do the same thing. Alright, well, let's turn this on. There we go. Okay, so behind me is this Excel sheet which I had ChatGPT create for me with just random information. None of it is real. And same with the other one that we're going to pull information from. So let me do this. Let's put me kind of small down in the corner there. Okay, so as you can see, and let me just zoom in a little bit so you can see it a little better. So we have an employee number, we have name, we have occupation. All right. Now I'm going to go grab my other file. I already have it open. Here's my other file. And you can see it has, and I'm going to zoom in on that a little bit as well. For those of us that are just a little bit older, we can see a little better, right? So it's more of an HR file. It has age, it has salary, and it has department. Now for this illustration, I'm going to be adding department. So a couple of things right off the bat. And listen, if you're new here, give me a like, give me a thumbs up, and subscribe. And when you subscribe, go down in the comments and write, I subscribed so that I can show you my appreciation. It's something that's free and easy to do, and it supports the channel, and I really appreciate it. Okay, now, first thing you need to be doing is you got to be comparing apples to apples. You have to have something in your second file that matches up with the first file. So you see we have employee number in the second file, we have employee number in the first file. Now when you pull files from like a data server or whatnot, sometimes there's added zeros or whatever if there's numbers. So you got to make sure that your information is formatted the same, has the same exact amount of characters, all that. It has to be exact to exact. Okay? So one of the ways that I found to fix that, if you're getting an error, right, and it's not pulling the information correctly, the VLOOKUP isn't working, you know you typed it in, is if you copy the information, put it on another Excel sheet, and paste it as values. Again, that sounds a little bit tedious, but trust me, it's a lot less tedious than manually typing all this information, especially if you had a big long file with a lot of employees and all this information, right? And this can be working, or this can work with anything. Doesn't have to be employees. It's just any Excel file where you have a comparator and you want to grab information from another Excel file and put it in there. All right, and I'm going to show you a few easy tips and tricks. So the first thing I would do, let's just say we pulled this file from the data server, is I would copy this information, and what we're going to do is we're going to click in the top left corner up here, okay, and we're going to select just the information on the sheet. So what you're going to want to do, and I'm going to show you on a keyboard here, is you're going to want to hold Control and Shift down, all right, Control and Shift, and then you're going to want to use the arrow keys on your keyboard, right, which are these. This arrow key and the down arrow key over and down while you're holding Control and Shift down. Once you're in that top left corner position, what that's going to do is it's going to select everything for you that is in the sheet. So if you have a really big sheet, that's a really quick way to do it. Control Shift, right arrow, okay, see that went all the way across the top of the headers just to where the information stopped, and then down arrow, that just selected everything to where the information stopped. Now that we have it selected, we're going to right click, we're going to say copy, and we're going to open a completely new Excel sheet, okay? Completely new Excel sheet, and what we're going to want to do is you can come up here to your paste options, and you're going to want to find the paste values, or you can do Control Shift V, which does the values in Excel. Or you can right click and paste the values. Again, you want the values, which is the clipboard with the 1, 2, 3, because we don't want any extra data, we don't want any formatting, we don't want nothing. We just want text in the Excel file. All right. Okay, now that we have that, we need to grab the information from our other Excel file and add it to this file in a way that we can still keep typing our code without losing where we are. Okay. Which it can be a little confusing when you're typing your VLOOKUP code and you're referencing another sheet by clicking on that other sheet. Yes, you can do it, but that's just a little advanced. Again, the purpose of this video is to make it easy. Okay, so now we want our other information. Okay, and we have employee number here on the left. Now let me just show you something really quick. If your comparator isn't on the far left, let's just say it's like over here. Okay. So this one would be name, age, and then employee number. You can select the whole column by left-clicking on the header up there on the whatever the column letter is, right? Right-clicking, and you're going to say cut, which that isn't an option. We're going to say Control X. So Control X to cut it, okay? And then we come over to A, and we're going to say insert cut cells, and that's going to paste it over in the far left. Now, technically, that still would have worked even though it was over here, because what I wanted to pull, department, was to the right of the comparator. But again, I don't want this to be confusing. I want it to be as easy as possible. So I would say, while you're learning, always make sure your comparator is the far left, so that way any information is to the right, because Excel reads the same way we do. It reads from right or left to right, okay, just like we would read a sentence. Okay, now we're going to do the same thing. We're going to copy this information, Control Shift over and down, and I'm going to right click and I'm going to say copy. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit this little plus down here, and I'm going to say a new sheet, and I'm going to do Control Shift V for values. Didn't work, so then we're going to come in here and say values. Sometimes it doesn't, sometimes it does. Hey, it's Windows. All right, then we're going to select everything there, double right, so I can see all of that. Now, what we're going to want to do is we're going to select that data again. This does not work if you select the entire sheet like this, okay? If you do that corner and select the entire sheet, you have to do this like I showed you. Just select that information. And what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to right click, and you're going to say define name right here, okay? We're going to call this emp for employees, emps. Okay? Now, my emp file has the department that I want to add over onto my other sheet, okay? So now we're going to come up here, we're going to say department. You can always name your column later. It doesn't matter, because what we're going to do is we're going to do the information on the next cell down. Okay, now what we're going to do is now is where we're actually going to use the VLOOKUP codes. We're going to type equals VL, and it should suggest VLOOKUP. I would click this. What that's going to do is it's going to type the starting for the code for you, including the little bracket, all right? And read what it says. So it wants the lookup value, or the comparator. This is the thing that's the exact same on the other side, but you've got to find it on this sheet. So in this instance, and we're only talking about this line, we're not talking about the entire sheet, okay? Don't confuse yourself. Don't overthink it. So on this line, we want this column, this cell, and so A2, we can click it or type it. So we're going to click it, okay? A2, comma. Now this is where you could go pull up another sheet and click on it, and it would put it in there. But this is where people's brain typically explodes. So to keep it easy, and what I did when I was learning, keep it easy for me, and which I do all the time now as well. I love making the little defined name. We're going to type EMP, because that's the name of our table, okay? Comma, and you can see VLOOKUP is kind of walking us through it. So we have our comparator, we have our table, and then now what you need to do is you need to find where in that table you want to grab information from. What column, as it's reading information, once it finds something, as it reads, right, what column over do we want it to pull information from? This is where it's handy to have your other file pulled up. I have two screens, so I typically have the other file pulled up, and you can count. So see, this is column 1, column 2, column 3, column 4, column 5, column 6. So department is column 6. That's where we want to pull the information from. So we come back to our code, right? Or if you had a second screen, you just have it over there and go look real quick. Or you remember and write it down, however you want to do it. Now we want the column, okay? So it's column 6, comma, okay? And this is the last thing we want to say, an approximate match or exact match. I always use exact match. I want it to be exact, especially when you're dealing with, business data and that sort of thing. So then we're going to say false. And we're going to do parentheses, enter. And there you go. See, the department is in engineering. Now, you want to make this is where it gets really cool. You want to do this on a really long sheet with lots of data. You want to grab all that information. Okay? There's two ways to do it. You get see this little corner right there where it changes to a smaller plus sign, right? You can click that and drag it, okay, to copy your information like that. So we see I copied the formula down to those cells, and it grabbed that information for those and those. See, these people are in different departments. It's grabbing it for us, right? Another way, if you have a really long file and you don't want to sit and drag everything, you just come here and you double click, and it will just boop, do it for you really quick. Now, let's say we want to grab something else. You're going to run another VLOOKUP code, because we want to grab, like, say, age, which is in the third column over on our data sheet. So then we do the same thing. We're going to say age, okay, is what it is. We're going to do another VLOOKUP, just so that you have the practice, equals VLOOKUP, right? VLOOKUP. I'm going to click it. Now, where's our value? Our value is the same. Our comparator is the same, A2, right? And then our table is the same, employee, okay? And what did I say? Column 4, false. Nope, it wasn't column 4. That's their occupation. So now we're going to come up here and we're going to say, I can't even remember, oh, it was column 3. So delete 4, go to 3. There we go. There's our age. Now, again, you can come here, double click, boom, there's their age. What else are we missing on this file? We're missing their salary, right? We're missing their salary, which is column 5 right there. So again, we could do the same thing. We could say salary, and we could say equals VLOOKUP, click it, A2, because we have the same comparator, EMP, column 5, right, for salary, and false. Ta-da, there's our salary. Click it, double click this little corner, boom, it's added. Now, if you're going to share this file or save it on your computer for work purposes, whatever, you probably don't want this other sheet with your data, because that just makes your file bigger. So what you need to do is the same thing that we did before. I'm going to select, oops, we're going to over and then down. We're going to select all the information. What you're going to do this time is you're going to copy it and just paste it right over the top of itself. And you're going to paste, again, values. Now, see, all those formulas went away, and this is now our sheet with all that information. And then from here, you could save it, share it, whatever, and you're going to want to delete right here, delete this other tab. And there you have it. Now, a couple of tips: you can't have more than one defined name that's exactly the same. I can make another training video at some point, or you can go look it up where to go find your data, your table names, and how to change them, edit them, delete them, that sort of stuff. That's in Excel, or just simply name it something else: employee 1, employee 2, employee 3, whatever. The easiest thing to remember is that you got to be comparing apples to apples. It's got to be, your comparator's got to be to the left of whatever data you want to pull. You got to remember what column you're going to pull it from. And then you're going to copy and paste values when you're all done, so that you have the hard-written data on your Excel sheet, and then you can delete your other table. Sometimes your other table is pretty big if it's a really big employee file with a lot of different information, or whatever the case may be, invoices, whatever it is. But there you have it. That's the basic functions of VLOOKUP. Hope you found this video informative and helpful. And again, don't forget to like and share this video so that you can boost it in the algorithm, and other people might be suggested to see it. Hopefully it'll help them, and it's easy to understand. And welcome to the wonderful world of VLOOKUP. All right, have a good day.